Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us. The NNPC now has a new group managing director, and he will be the 19th on the 8th of July. His name, Mele Kyari, geologist, quintessential crude oil marketer. He comes in with a completely new team. While the further state of the realm were at the towers, it turns out to be a win-win situation for both media and the NNPC. A good year it was 2018 for NETCO, with a 107% increase in profit, while petrol price decreased in May 2019, quoting NBS PMS Price Watch. Plus, NNPC LNG is looking to more entrenchment across the value chain. The corporation is also about equal opportunity that is tested and manifestly proven. It sees the incessant protests and blockade of its premises by physically challenged persons as needless. The facts and figures about this and other stories are in the package. My name is Aki Agbejile. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
Under President Muhammad Buhari, we've seen where there is fuel, you make a choice of where to buy fuel. You make shakara for them.
Here are the highlights. NNPC gets new GMD, 7 chief operating officers as well. Commitment to sustained partnership for national unity, even as it charges the further state on exposing cross-border smuggling of petroleum products. NNPC LNG looks to entrench presence in global LNG value chain. Petrol price did good for May 2019. It's got quite a lot of numbers. NNPC cautions physically challenged protesters against siege on its premises. Got details later.
He's been running a very transparent administration, and he took time to explain all he's been doing to ensure that he leaves this place much better than he met it. You can see that team of people he's working with. They are so comfortable with him. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has thrown more light on the newly appointed Group Managing Director, GMD of the corporation, Mr. Mele Kyari, as well as the 6 Chief Operating Officers and a Chief Financial Officer. The new Group Managing Director, Mr. Mele Kyari, who takes over from the current occupier of the office, Dr. Meikanti Barrow, effectively on 8th July 2019, was until his new appointment the Group General Manager, Crude Oil Marketing Division of NNPC. Dr. Barrow would retire statutorily on July 7, 2019. Mr. Kyari doubled since 13th May 2018 as Nigeria's national representative to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The new GMD will be bringing to his new appointment more than 27 years of experience in the various value chains of the petroleum industry. Mr. Roland Ewubare, who is from the South-South region of the country and is appointed Chief Operating Officer Upstream, was until his new appointment Group General Manager, National Petroleum Investments and Management Services, NAPIMS, a corporate services unit of the corporation headquartered in Lagos. Engineer Mustafa Yunusa Yakubu, from a north-central region of the country, is newly appointed as Chief Operating Officer, Refining and Petrochemicals. Until his new appointment, he was the Managing Director of the National Engineering and Technical Company Limited, NETCO. Engineer Yusuf Usman is from Northeast and is Chief Operating Officer, Gas and Power. Until his new appointment, Engineer Usman was Senior Technical Assistant to the Group Managing Director of the corporation. Ms. Laurentia Wandiabua Ndukbu from Southeast is newly appointed as Chief Operating Officer Ventures. She, until her new appointment, was the Group General Manager, NNPC Oil Field Services. Mr. Umar Issa Ajia from Northwest region of the country, who holds the new position of Chief Financial Officer, was until his recent appointment the Managing Director of Petroleum Products Marketing Company PPMC, Adeyemi Adetunji, who is from the southwest region of the country, holding the new appointment of Chief Operating Officer downstream, was until his new appointment the Managing Director of NNPC Retail Limited. Engineer Farouk Garba Said, who hails from Northwest, holds the new position of Chief Operating Officer, Corporate Services, was Group General Manager, Engineering and Technology Division of NNPC. Engineer Said will be taking over from the present occupier of the office, who retires statutorily on 28 June 2019. The new appointees have been directed to work with the current occupiers of the various offices by President Muhammadu Buhari until 7th July 2019 to ensure a smooth transition on 8th July 2019 when their appointments will take effect. Encomiums have continued to pour in for the appointment of the new Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Malam Mele Kolo Kyari. Leading the torrent of commendations is the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Maikanti Baru, who described Kyari's appointment as well as that of the new Chief Operating Officers as well-deserved. While wishing them success in their various positions, Baru expressed optimism that the new GMD and his team would deliver on their respective mandates in line with the vision of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration and the dreams of the corporation's founding fathers. In their separate congratulatory messages, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC and the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative NEITI also applauded Kyari's appointment as the 19th GMD by Mr. President. In a letter addressed to the new GMD, OPEC scribe Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo said the appointment came as no surprise and as a testament to Kyari's exemplary record and exceptional performance over the years in his illustrious career at the NNPC. Prior to his appointment, Kyari was Nigeria's national representative at the OPEC, a job he combined with the Group General Manager in charge of NNPC's Crude Oil Marketing Division, COMD. The Executive Secretary of NEITI, Mr. Waziri Adio, in his congratulatory message, described Kyari as a well-known transparency champion who shared the principles which underlie NEITI's work and the Global 80 on good governance of the oil and gas industry. Malam Mele Kyari, the incoming GMD, will take over from Dr. Maikanti Baru, who will be retiring on 7th July 2019 upon clocking the statutory age of 60.
The management and staff of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) announced the commencement of the grassroots States and Zonal NNPC 2019 National Science Quiz Competition. The 17th edition of the annual competition holds as follows. The grassroots level of the competition is to be held at 774 local government areas across the country on the 20th of June 2019 in the local government area headquarters. The state level is to be held at the 36 states and federal capital territory on the 26th of June 2019 in the state capitals and Abuja. For the zonal level, South-South, Monday, July 1st, 2019 in Uyo, Southeast, Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019 in Owerri, Southwest, Friday, July 5th, 2019 in Osogbo, North Central, Monday, July 8th, 2019 in Minna, Northwest, Wednesday, July 10th, 2019 in Katsina, and Northeast, Friday, July 12th, 2019 in Bauchi. The finals and grand finale are scheduled to hold on September 16th and 17th, 2019 at the NNPC Towers in Abuja. NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways. Signed, Undu Ugamadu, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of NNPC.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. Maikanti Baru, has enumerated landmark progress recorded in the last 3 years under his watch as helmsman of Nigeria's National Oil Corporation. Speaking at his investiture as Fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, NAE, held at the University of Lagos, Barrow attributed the successes to his engineering background, a discipline which, according to him, wholesomely prepared him for the great task ahead.
Recovering and maintaining production levels well over 2 million barrels per day, over a plummeted low of a little over 1 million barrels per day of oil and condensate when we came on board in 2016. By NNPC's flagship upstream company, the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, from a mere 65,000 barrels per day to over 300,000 barrels per day production. My organization saved enormous financial resources through the direct sale, direct purchase scheme adopted for product import against the Offshore Processing Agreement, OPA, with over $1.2 billion savings in 2016 alone.
Earlier in his welcome address, Professor Fola Lasisi charged the new inductees to rally around stakeholders in the engineering trade to promote the ideals of the profession in the larger interest of the society.
Please join me to congratulate the new fellows. I wish to encourage them to be ready to serve the academy in committees, in making themselves available wherever they are called upon to serve the academy in committees and other critical collective assignments.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has reiterated its readiness to sustain its support for local companies within the entire hydrocarbon value chain towards growing the nation's economy. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Barrow, stated this during a plant tour of MRS Oil Nigeria PLC, an indigenous oil company in Tin Can Island, Lagos. Barrow, who said NNPC was ready to encourage MRS in whatever way it could, also assured the company that as a commercial customer, it will be given priority in terms of gas supply, which will keep them going stronger and ultimately grow the economy.
As I see, a lot of investment has been done, which we are encouraging, that we don't want to be importing materials, and they are localizing production. It gives works to people, it improves the economy, it also produces products of quality at a much lower price.
Responding, the Group Chief Executive Officer of MRS Oil Nigeria PLC, Alhaji Sayu Dantata, thanked the GMD for the visit, which he said has energized his company in its quest to remain a key player in the nation's downstream and manufacturing sectors.
Look, it's always good for officials to visit a facility like this so they can see what is happening outside. There's not a second-hand information. I can go to NNPC and tell them everything, but now they've come, they have seen, they probably have ideas themselves that think this should be done this way because all of them are professional.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has restated its commitment to resume oil search in the Chad Basin as soon as it received security clearance. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Barrow, disclosed this when the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, paid him a business visit in Abuja. He commended the people of Bauchi and Gombe State, especially communities in the exploration area, for their support and hospitality, while assuring them of NNPC's support in the provision of infrastructure and amenities.
We are leveraging on cutting-edge technology. That's why when we moved into the Gongola Basin, which is sub-basin of the Chad Basin, where part of it is in Bauchi State, we've identified the needed low-hanging fruit at the Kolmani River area.
Speaking earlier, the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, said his visit was to seek collaboration with the corporation on how to move the state forward.
We are going to deepen community relations in such a manner that will give you unimpeded access to make sure you do your activities, and for us also to establish some institutions that will make that we can maximally benefit from your activities.
Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has called on members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists to join the corporation in naming and shaming cross-border smugglers of petroleum products. Dr. Baru made the call when he played host to the national leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ, led by its president, Mr. Chris Isiguzo, at the NNPC Towers in Abuja.
Of course, we are very much open to collaboration with you and in order to see that we execute our mandate to the nation, to Mr. President Muhammad Buhari's administration, to ensure that the nation is energy sufficient.
He also urged the NUJ to support the NNPC in educating and discouraging people from indulging in illegal refining of petroleum products as it pollutes the air with soot, destroys aquatic lives and the entire ecosystem. Earlier, President of NUJ, Mr. Isiguzo, congratulated the GMD on his 2019 NUJ Distinguished Friend of the Media Award, saying the award was given to him on the basis of his support for the media and freedom of the press.
You can see that there is an appreciable level of stability in the oil industry, and that goes to show the caliber of leadership that you have at the NNPC.
He has done very, very well, and I travel a lot, and there's no part of this country I don't go because of this my job, and there's no way we cannot find fuel, and he has done very, very well.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC LNG Limited, a wholly-owned subsidiary of the state oil company, has expressed its preparedness to expand its footprint in the global LNG value chain. This resolution was part of the outcome of the board meeting of the company held recently at Cayman Islands. Speaking at the meeting, the chairman of NNPC LNG Limited and group managing director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, who was represented by the alternate chairman and chief operating officer, Corporate Services, Isai Noah, said the entity was a holding company for other marketing joint ventures of NNPC relating to the businesses of LNG and natural gas liquids, NGLs. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC has decried incessant blockades of its premises by people living with disabilities, saying the individuals involved should learn to transmit their concerns to the corporation through appropriate channels. NNPC's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Undu Uamadu, in a release, said the action of the group was unbecoming, adding that repeated obstructions were inimical to the daily business of the corporation, given the national oil company's contribution to the coffers of the three tiers of government in the country. The NNPC spokesperson explained that the corporation was a disability-friendly company, which has in its employ persons with disability, and had equally made special provisions for this group in its ongoing recruitment exercise. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said the average price paid by consumers for premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, decreased by -3.4% year-on-year and -0.6% month-on-month to 145.0 naira in May 2019 from 145.9 naira in April 2019. This information was contained in the NBS PMS Price Watch for May 2019. It added that states with the lowest average price of premium motor spirit petrol were Enugu, 143.55 naira, Katsina, 142.50 naira, and Gombe, 141.08 naira.
Well, I feel satisfied, at least driving in and then getting the fuel at the right time, compared to maybe in the time past when maybe there'll be chain of queues all over the place and delay. So I think it is a good development.
Well, we travel as far from here to Kano, from here to Kaduna, Zaria, or Lokoja. So the fuel station is still normal as it is. As we are buying 145, it is like that. There's no problem about that.
Hello, welcome to the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. Do you know that crude oil is an unrefined petroleum product composed of hydrocarbon deposits and other organic materials? On this edition, our roving camera seeks to find out from the people some of the derivatives of crude oil.
There are asphalt, propane, a lot of things that we get from crude.
We have wax, which they use in making candles, bitumen as a byproduct, and as well you have silicon.
Crude oil, you can get your petrol, your coal, like the road, for instance, the quota, the tire.
Vaseline is one of the byproducts of crude oil. Then candle too. Candle is one of the byproducts. Then we have nylon.
The DPK that we use, which is the dual purpose scale, and the PMS, which is the premium motor spirit, are all byproducts of crude oil.
I'm sure you know better now that crude oil is a form of liquefied hydrocarbon extracted from rock formations and refined into premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, liquefied petroleum gas, diesel, kerosene, lubricant, bitumen, and asphalt, to mention but a few. And that's our package for this incisive edition. Don't go away, as the other segments are on their way.
Hello, it's yet another informative segment, and it's good to have you join us. I am Faith Ayuba. Did you know that the 2019-2021 Natural Gas Liquids (NGL) bid opening seeks to engage reputable qualified companies to offtake natural gas liquids for the domestic and international markets? The 2019-2021 NGL tender objective, which includes ensuring selection of off-takers, is aligned with tested, transparent and accountable procedures in compliance with Public Procurement and Nigerian Content Act. Did you know that the NNPC is using open bid to sustain transparency in all its processes, thereby selecting the best off-takers through a robust mix of international players with strong Nigerian gas sector-focused companies to ensure supply reliability and local capacity development? Similarly, the 2019-2021 Natural Gas Liquids bid opening is to stimulate investment in the gas storage, marketing and distribution. Did you also know that the NNPC NGL bid opening is meant to promote gas utilization locally or internationally in order to deliver value optimization to the Federation? Well, there you have it. I'm very sure this was quite informative. Please stay tuned.
Hello, welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil rose by more than 3% to above $63 per barrel after Iran shot down a U.S. military drone, raising fears of a military confrontation between Tehran and Washington. Expectations that the U.S. Federal Reserve could cut interest rates after its next meeting, stimulating growth in the world's largest oil-consuming country, and a drop in U.S. crude inventories also provided support to prices. Brent crude, the global benchmark, was up $1.73 at $63.55 per barrel, having earlier gained 3.3% to $63.88. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude rose $1.84 to $55.60 per barrel. The drone was downed in international airspace over the Strait of Hormuz by an Iranian surface-to-air missile, a U.S. official said. Iran's Revolutionary Guards said the drone was flying over southern Iran. Tension has been rising in the Middle East, home to over 20% of the world's oil output, after attacks on 2 tankers near the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for oil supplies. Washington blamed Tehran for the tanker attacks. Iran denied any role. Concern about slowing economic growth and a US-China trade dispute has pulled oil lower in recent weeks. Brent reached a 2019 high of $75 in April. U.S. crude stocks fell by 3.1 million barrels last week, more than analysts expected, the Energy Information Administration said. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Solomon Yopave.
That's the Oil and Gas Forum package today. We hope you found it very informative and delightsome. Have yourself a jolly good week ahead. Bye.